I'm gonna start off this video by saying how time flies. It's been, I believe last time I checked, it's been 4 years since my last video. Since my last video, it's crazy how long ago that's been. I believe 4 years ago, I had just gotten out of high school. I was still working at Winn-Dixie. My last video was about supplements, stuff like that. So it's honestly like mind-boggling to even look at that video and all the other videos I did when I was younger, and like just think about how long ago that was. But the good news is I'm gonna try to come back to this. I actually think in my last video 4 years ago I had said that I wanted to do this more often. I was asking for like video requests or video ideas and such, and it's like and I never did another video, it seems. So this is kind of my coming back. Man, 4 years ago I was like probably 20 years old. But things have gone crazy since then. I was living in Florida at the time. I was still actually living in my parents' house during that video. I was in the garage when I made that video. And now I don't even live in Florida anymore. I live in South Carolina. I still work out all the time, so that hasn't changed. I've actually put on a ton of weight. My last video, I watched it before I made this, and I was talking about like getting up to 200 pounds, and like being like, God, I hope I could do that. Now, like my just regular weight right now is 210, and that's not like fat or anything. That's just like muscle. So it's like crazy to see what I've been able to like accomplish since that video, and like all the things that have happened since then. Like I watched all my videos. I watched that one particularly because I went in so in depth with stuff on that one compared to like all my other ones that were like flexing videos, all this type of stuff. And I was like super young in those. Like that first one, that was recorded, I was like, I believe I was like 16, and that video was recorded in my dad's old house that I haven't lived in years. So it's like, it's almost like crazy to see how long ago, but like crazy to look at the memories and see like what I was or in like what I've become. But I don't even live in Florida anymore. I think I said I moved out to South Carolina. The time gap in between me and my last video, I of course always stayed working out. I became a firefighter in Florida. I did that for 2 years volunteer, and then I believe I was on my third year as a full-time firefighter. And then I met my girlfriend, and we've been together for a little over a year now. And that was this was about last year, and I got engaged. So I mean that's like the craziest part about it. Like at that time in the last video I was single, I believe. Like all I did was work out. I mean that's the crazy part. Like I worked at Winn-Dixie at the time. I don't know, I was just young and didn't really have anything planned out. And then it's so funny that I like talked about making more videos after that last one, and like I was just like, nope, done. I did Instagram for the longest time. I grew that a lot, and then like it just like fell off. I kind of gave up on it after a while because of how the algorithm works on there and such. I always like wanted to do YouTube, mainly because the money is insane on YouTube. And I've even looked into Twitch because I mean Twitch is insane too, and like all these guys are playing video games and making insane money by playing video games. It like blows my mind. And like I'm not gonna lie, like especially like seeing some of the guys that are making millions of dollars on there, they're like full on nerds. I'm like not even nerds, because like I'm kind of a nerd, but like I mean like I don't know, like Asmongold, people like that, like it's like crazy to like no like hate or anything, but like it's like crazy to see how they've made such a life out of like just playing video games. Like who in the world would have thought that you could make that kind of money just like sitting around playing games, talking shit about games, doing all this stuff. It's just crazy. But anyways, like I always wanted to do YouTube, I always wanted to do Twitch. It was always just like one of those things where I was like hesitant because I was raised by, or I wasn't raised by, but I was like raised to learn that full time jobs is like what you need, that you should just follow the cycle of life, work until you retire type thing. And you know, it's like in my mind, I never wanted to do that. I always wanted to make real money and be able to provide for my family more than uh, like most people can with just like a full-time job type thing. And I'm not saying like you can't be successful with a full-time job. A lot of people can be, but it depends on the job. If you're really smart, of course you're gonna make a lot of money. I mean, and it just depends. But like when you look at some of these guys that are doing Instagram, not even really Instagram because you don't really make any money on there, but like Twitch, YouTube, and just some of these platforms, it like blows your mind. I mean, I don't even know. Like, you look at how much they make monthly, all this stuff. I hate to go into detail with it, but like, it's just like a whole different world, and it shows you that in today's world, like full time jobs is great. Of course, you'll have a set pay, all this stuff, but you will never make it farther than you want to be. You can promote all the way to the top, and you're still going to be at a set pay for the rest of your life. And that's, I never just like believed in that. I always believed there was a better way of making money and being a way of making a lot more money. Like, and I watch some of these YouTube guys, I mean, 20-year-old guys, millions of dollars, buying their parents' house, buying their parents' vehicles, and you just can't do that with a regular job. There's no way. I mean, especially with how the world is these days, it's just not possible. You know, I hate to make like my comeback video like something into this, but it's like I just want to come back and start with something um, to talk about like why I wanted to get back into this, and just about like what I've done in those past 4 years. Um, I do, like I said, I do Instagram, I do TikTok, and I am doing life insurance now. I really like doing the firefighting stuff, but it was causing me some issues health wise at nighttime with running the calls I was running, like stomach wise. It was weird. But once I quit and moved here, I thought about doing it again, but then, especially with the shifts, I mean, you work at 24, you're off 48. With COVID happening, I was working usually 48s and only being off 20, or sorry, I was working 48s and I was off, yeah, 24. So, I mean, you go home, you sleep, and you go back to work. So it was rough. I mean, some nights you got to sleep, some nights you didn't. But I just knew there was maybe something better. And that's why kind of life insurance, I kind of like piqued my interest because it's 1099. So that's the thing, like 1099, you have no cap. Of course, you have to pay taxes at the end, but like YouTube, Twitch, life insurance, all that stuff has no cap. And with that being so, you decide how much money you make, how much time you put into something, how much all this. And that's really what I believe is the smart way of life these days. I mean, you kind of have to have money to be able to do this type of stuff because if you have like a bad month or something like that, I mean, you're going to be living off your bank account. But if you think about like, if you get good at it, like YouTube, if you get good at YouTube, if you get good at Twitch, if you get good at uh, life insurance or any 1099 job, you're going to make insane amount of money. And with 1099, you're going to have write-offs. So really, you're just going to be making way more money than physically possible in a full-time type job, you know? Um, but I'm not gonna make this a super long video because my comeback video, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna make this page or YouTube into because for the longest time on these videos, like if you look back, they were all just like, I was young, I was doing like flexing videos, which I mean, that's really not a thing anymore. I don't know if it ever really was a thing, but you know, in my head, I thought it was cool. Um, I did flexing videos. I did a few like workout videos. My last video 4 years ago was probably the one I went most in depth with, and I mean, I thought about doing some stuff like that, but I feel like it's what everyone does. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like everyone does a little of everything. Some people do use YouTube for gaming reasons. Some people use it for fishing, hunting, um, talking about supplements like Kenny KO. He's a super great guy and like one of the top guys. But he has one page for like dissing people, and he has another page where he fully just talks about supplements, stuff like that. So I don't know fully what I want to do with this page yet. I also think I'm gonna make a Twitch as well and maybe mess around with that a little. But I don't know if you guys have any ideas. I mean, leave them in the comments and let me know what you think I should do. And I'll definitely give it some thought. But like I said, it's been 4 years since my last video on here, and I watched it, and it was just so funny to me because I was 180 at the time, and the funniest part was when I was talking about getting to 200. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do that one day, if even possible. And like I said, now I'm like 210, and it's not because I'm not working out anymore. For the people that follow me on Instagram, they fully know that. Um, it's just because, I mean, of course I got older, and it was a little easier to put on weight once you get older and you mature a little more. But it just you just see yourself like evolve or like change over time, and it's like one of those goals. Like I can look back and I was like, wow, I had that goal in life, and then 4 years later I actually got that goal within probably like 2 years, but you know, I wasn't doing this at the time. So I probably like a year or two later is when I really reached the 200. uh Now I'm to the point where I can stick at 200 pretty easily. um but it's just one of those things that's crazy, and like that's like the cool thing about taking videos and doing stuff like this, even YouTube. I mean, you can like this video, maybe I could look back one day and be like, wow, that's where I started. That was me when I first started doing this, all that stuff. I even have that video from like when I was 16 years old. I look at that one, I'm like, wow, I was a fucking shrimp and thought I was big or something, you know. But yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate that everyone that's followed me, even though I haven't, or subbed to me, even though I haven't been on here in 4 years. uh, I've always appreciated y'all. And like I said, if you guys have any ideas of what you think I should maybe do with this page, let me know. I'm definitely going to think about it as well. But having other people tell me what they think definitely will help me figure out what I want to do. Because I mean, like I said, I don't want to be the same, but it's honestly, in today's world, it's hard not to be the same with what everyone does. But yeah, so that 4 years later, I'm back, and I'm gonna try to stay back, but you know, no promises until the next video. So yeah, appreciate y'all, and like I said, thank you for staying around for 4 years.